Okay, so we're going to improve the string format experience. A couple features I want to implement along these lines. This is going to go somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour and 45, maybe somewhere along those lines. I think it may go longer if I just decide to try and pack everything in, which is kind of where I'm leaning towards. Or at the end of 45 minutes, you know, who knows, we may all say, hey, that was awesome, let's do part 2. So a couple features I want to, so one of the things that's really always bugged me about string format is it's hard to discover the, hold on a second, let me just bring up a website here, pop this over here. So if you do a search for String.Format examples, you can start seeing things, as you can see some of the pages I've started looking at. It's hard to discover these pieces that are here. That's one of the things that bugs me, so I want to fix that. The other thing is that sometimes it's not entirely intuitive which number piece here corresponds to which piece over here. So what I want to do is I want to create a way to connect these two. And my first idea on that is to create another implementer of another provider for tabbed index reference, just like we did, I think, a week or two ago. Roy, remember we created that one for the primitives?
Yeah. That
so
was very cool.
what I want to do is I want to create one that allows me to put the caret on the formats part of the format item, like the 0, and hit the tab key and come over there, and then the tab key and come back over here. That's kind of what I want to do. So I want to do that first. Then I want to create something that makes it a little easier to set these, to specify these. Then maybe, you know, depending on time, I was thinking about also adding a code issue that just checks to make sure that all of these number items that we have here have a corresponding argument over there. Does that make sense?
It does. That's very cool, yeah.
So I think
very helpful.
So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to call this the, I guess I'm calling this the super string formatter. Maybe we'll call this the string formatter, like that. And we'll put all of the features in there. All right. So my fan on my computer is going. I'm noticing it's pretty loud today, and I'm wondering if, you know, there's something going on that, you know, something suspicious in the ether. All right. So let's see. I want to put in a search provider. We dropped this on before. The technical name is Searcher Provider. We're going to rename that for the next release to just Searcher Provider. This will be, I'll call this SP Format Items. And the provider name is going to be Format Items. And navigates through matching format items. So it's possible to actually have, like, for example, the here, I'll just type it in here. This it's possible to have 2 of these in a single format string, a reference to the same parameter, the same argument, more than once. So that makes this a little tricky. So to go through all matching, we want to go through every single one of those. We're going to use this for navigation, but we're not going to use this for renaming. And then over here, we're going to do check availability on that and search references on that. So we're going to grab both of those pieces there. What else? I'm just thinking ahead and wondering if we should do some of the other features, you know, like the code issue. I'm not sure. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to, well, let's create a string here first of all, and look at the code using the expressions lab. So my stir is equal to yes, or wait, let's do it like this. Hello, comma. Rory, are you typing? I'm hearing like some kind of clicking. I don't know if that's you or somebody else with a microphone.
Nothing here.
Oh, you know what? It's maybe Amanda over there. Amanda, your microphone may be on. You might want to shut that off if you can hear it. I think that might be you. Okay, hello, Rory. Your score is 42. Okay, so you know, I'm just realizing, Rory. You know, one of the things I'm going to need that I didn't actually do research on is and I don't know if Alex Skorkin's out there or not, because sometimes he is in there watching, and I'm not sure if he made it. It looks like he's not in there now. Oh, wait, he is. Alex, you're there. Okay, so Alex, this is what I need. I need some code determine the type of an expression. For example, I need, like, is it an int? Is it, a double? Is it a string? Is it a date time? Etc. Okay, that's what I need. So Alex Skorkin, if you see that message, just give me a text message. Just IM me and let me know when you get that code. All right. So here's a regular string. Let's use CodeRush to introduce a format item in it there. Let's introduce a format item here. Actually, before we do that, let's undo that 1 second, because I want to say this is a literal brace. These are literal braces. And put some in. Okay. So now, let's use CodeRush. Introduce a format item. Notice what happens to the literal braces. They double up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means it's one brace, one little brace. All right. So now we have some pieces over here. Let's look at it in the expressions lab. Let's get rid of this so we can see more code. And move this over here. So we're inside the expressions lab. We're inside a primitive, the caret is in a primitive expression. So what we need to do is we need to actually write something that parses this out. So one of the things that we'll need to do, and remember, I said we could have the same thing show up more than once, right?
Yeah.
So hello, Rory. Rory, your score is, right, like that.
That's
and
it.
then this comes in here. So normally what we would do is we come in here and we would, like, introduce a local, like, a customer name, something along those lines, and then the score would be, also there as well. Score, like that. I'm going to change the type of this to a double, like that. Okay, so back over here, though, we're in a primitive expression. The primitive expression is, its parent is a method call expression. Method call expression has a child node that's a method reference expression. By the way, pretty sure that's going to be in a property called qualifier as well. There it is, qualifier. So a method call will sometimes have a qualifier. Now it's a method reference expression, but it also has a qualifier type string. So the idea is we're going to go in and make sure that we're inside a string.format call, because we just, anywhere in a string when we see this text, that doesn't matter. It only matters if we're in a string format. So our availability check is going to need to check that bit of information out. The second thing we'll need to do is parse this out and find the locations of all of these. So we'll need to create a class to store the location, and then so we'll have a location here, and then for any particular ID number like 0, we're going to need to store all of the locations. So we'll need to know this one right here and also this one if it were to exist as well. And then we'll have another one called for number 1.
So I'm curious, Mark, will we also, in that first list of sort of 0 locations, will we be including customer name, which is the positional parameter representative?
No, we don't need to do that. And the reason why is because we're going to instead store, hold on a second, Skorkin says, primitive expression inside the primitive type property. I get to call resolve on, but my question is, can I pass on resolve, can I pass, because it's an entire expression. The whole expression is going to come out as a main thing. I'll call resolve on it. Okay, so yeah, so Skorkin's just telling me, here, let me just write this down here. Alex Skorkin says, call resolve unless it's a primitive expression, at which point we already know the type. Okay, so thanks, Alex. We will we'll do that. All right. So the answer is no, though, to your question. We don't need to, because I'm going to actually store the number, and so number 0 corresponds to argument number 1, right? Okay. This is argument 0 to the string format call. This is argument 1. That's argument 2. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So we don't need that number. So let's start writing some classes here to hold this stuff. So I'm going to create a new class. Actually, maybe I should make it a struct, and this is going to store the format item position, and it's going to consist of a variable called, let's call this offset. Let's make it public, and another one called length. Okay, so the idea is we go here to there. And the reason I have length is because you can do crazy stuff like this, right? Whatever your format string is. Okay?
Sure.
All right, format item position, that's number one. Number two is we need, for any particular format item, okay, so I'm going to create a new class called format item. We're going to, inside of that, we're going to have a new list of these. So we'll say new list of what's on the clipboard. Okay, so those are going to be called our positions, okay, like that. So those are our positions. The format item is also going to have an ID number. That's this number that we parse out here, this first number, okay? So we will call that, we'll just call that ID, like that. Okay, and that's format item. Then all the ones we found we'll need a method that returns a new list of these up over here. So we need a method that returns a list of what's on the clipboard, which looks like that. And this is going to be get format items, and it's going to take a string coming in here. Okay. I'm laughing because, like, okay, that's the easy part, I think, right? The next part is we've got to write ourselves like a little parser in here. So so let's do that. So text.length. So we need some variables. So one of the variables we need to know, well, let's do this. We'll say if text, let's do this, text of I, let's declare local for that. And so this is going to be this char. And so we're going to say if this char equals an open brace, then we're going to say in open brace equals true. Oops. All right. All right, so declare that there. In open brace is true. However, though, if we're already in an open brace, then we want to say open brace is false, because we've just got two in a row.
Yeah.
Make sense? Mm-hmm. CodeRush, you got anything for me here? You do. Thank you, CodeRush. Thank you very much. All right. The other thing that we need to do is we need to store the beginning offset of this. Okay. So let's do this. Let's say last open brace offset equals I. Let's declare this right here. Okay, so now we know we're an open brace. If we're in a closed brace, well, let's see what we're going to do. I'm not really sure what we're going to do in here just yet, actually. Let's do this, though. If let's change this, actually, instead of open brace, in open brace, let's change this to last character was an open brace. Okay? Then, now we can come down here and we say else if last character was open brace, then we can do some interesting things here. So one of the things I need to do is I need to collect the length of all of these, right? So let me come up in here and let's get a new length, so that equals 0. Okay, so if the last character was an open brace, boom, and we didn't have two of these in a row, that means we're actually going to be doing some things here. So what I'm going to say, let's set length is equal to 0. Let's take last char was open brace. Let's set that down equal to false. Let's say that we're now inside a format item. Let's set that equal to true. Let me drop a marker there. Come up here. That there. By the way, that thing I just did very quickly, it's worth showing. So you see, I had it on the clipboard. I was here, and I just hit Shift-Enter to duplicate line, and then paste, and then escape to get back. Right, so very quick. If you already, I just moved right to that line because I knew I wanted a bool. I wanted to initialize it to false. So we're now inside a format item, and now what we need to do is we need to figure out what number it is, right? So let's do this. Let's say collecting format item number equal to true, and again, let's just drop a marker, moving up. Paste and back, okay, and then we want to do something like this. Let's do a number stir, set that equal to string.empty, and then do this if that is digit of this char. Then we want to say number stir is equal to this char dot toString. Okay, so that's this is going to get the first digit, but we need more, right? We need something that basically says, so well, let's declare this. Parser did not catch up here. Hold on a second. We'll just put it right here. VS number string equal to string.empty. Okay. All right. So we set it equal to there. If the last character was an open brace, we set number string equal to empty. Then we grab the first digit. We also say, hey, we're collecting the format item number. So that means down in here, we're going to do something like this. Else if collecting format item number. Then we want to do something like this. We want to basically do this code right here, but something very similar to this. If this character is a digit, then we want to say number string plus equals this char toString. But if it's not a digit, then we want to stop collecting numbers. Okay?
Yep.
Alrighty, so initialize conditionally. No, we're going to do that. Okay, so so now we're up to this point right here. So let's do this. So if we're inside a format item, then we're going to say, well, okay, we've left the format item at this point. Because we don't need to check for two of these in a row inside a format item. At least I'm pretty sure we don't. There may be some crazy edge case format item strings out there, but at this point I'm going to assume they don't. I'm going to assume, at least for the purpose of what we're writing, that they don't exist, and we'll deal with those as people discover them if there are in fact any edge case issues. So, okay, so so at this point we're inside the format item. Otherwise, if we're not, then two of those in a row, it doesn't matter because we'll just skip it. We don't really need to look for two of these. We only need to look for two of the opening ones, I think. I'm pretty sure about that. Okay? So if we're inside a format item, then we're no longer going to, we're saying, well, we're not in the format item anymore. And then we're going to check, let's see if our number stir is not string.empty. Whoops. Okay. And if that's the case, then we want to do like a call to int.parse on number stir. And I don't have to call try parse because I'm only collecting digits on this. So this is going to succeed. Number. Okay. Then I need, let's create a new format, what did I call it? Format item position. And you know what? I want some constructors. Oops, I want a constructor in there. So let's do this. So I can create that easily. Okay, new format item position, and I want to pass in the last open brace offset. That's where we started, if all that is working. And the length, which is, well, hold on a second now. So we're not even really tracking length yet, are we? We're not. Okay, so the idea is what I'm going to do is at the bottom of this loop, right here, I'm just going to increment length like that. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's working for me. Okay, and so what we want to do is then pass in length. Okay, so that'll be how long this is. I want to set a breakpoint here too as well. Let's set a breakpoint right there. Right, length. Now, for that, when I'm in position, I'm okay with that. And set a marker, drop a marker here. Let's go up. RINST for result instance. No, RI for result instance. Sorry, like that. Result equals new. Like that. And let's take this and bring it down here. So there's our returning of the result. Is that's good. Okay. All right. So this is our list of format items. Actually, I'm now thinking, now that I've done this, that I think I want to change this up a bit, I think. See how bad this gets. Because I want to see quickly if we already have the format item number right in there. That's what I want to do. So I want to do something like this. If result dot contains key, passing in number. That. If result contains key. Now, if result does not contain key, then I want to say result dot add the key, comma, format item. And then we have to create a new format item is what we have to do. So let's do this. And sorry about that formatting because it was Visual Studio didn't like the incomplete code, I think. And so we need to say new format item. Hold on. All right. Let's do that. All right. So I'm going to say format item dot ID is equal to number. Let me just drill into this again. And positions. I think I'm going to just do this for this piece right here. Oops. So I can't do that. Let's not do that. Let's make it a, hold on. Just encapsulate field read only. There we go. All right. So then I'm going to say, so the positions are already in there. And I think that's it for this piece. Then I think I can come down here and I can say result of number dot positions dot add format item position. And I think that's it.
Yep, sounds pretty good. So just to quickly recap, basically we're parsing through the string, looking for any occurrence of open curly brace followed by a series of digits. As soon as that series of digits stops, we're going to use that series of digits as an index into a effectively a dictionary of format items. Every format item will give a list of all the positions of the multiple locations. So if you've got curly brace 0 and then later on similar, you're going to get both of those positions in this dictionary.
That's list. Correct. Yeah, all the positions. So usually there'll only be one, but there might be more than one. Let's break these into separate classes while we're here. Okay. So So we have that. So now we've got this killer method which looks like it might work. So next what we want to do is use it. And I think at this point I can run. Is what I think I can do. So let's just run it. Set breakpoints here. Oops, not there. 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 We will run. Yeah, that's 45 minutes right there. That's pretty intense. The good news is it gets easier and better.
Slightly later.
Well, what'd you say?
We did start slightly later due to technical
That's
difficulties.
True. That's 35 minutes then. Okay, so here we are. I think I've got the object initializer test, our good old test project that we have out there that we built. Let's open that up. In preparation, I have got a string out there. Here it is right there. So you've got this piece right here. So let's set a breakpoint over here. Well, we already have breakpoint set. So if you recall before, when we created our search provider, when we hit we had to change the binding for the shortcut for the tab key to allow it to work inside of primitives. Yes. Well, since this is already a primitive, we don't need to do that change again for this as long as we have the other one already installed.
Fair enough.
And I think we might have it installed. Let's see if we do. Let's put the caret over here on the number 2 and hit the tab key. And okay, well, let me just clear the breakpoint here a second. So we're just running. No, tab's not working on 2, really? Oh, there it is. I just have to give you after it. Okay, so there we go. So yes, see that's the plugin we wrote before. The tabs through primitives of the exact same value, right? Okay, so that's already going to work. So now when we hit the tab key, we'll get the breakpoint here, as I think we've already seen, tab, and now we're here checking availability. Well, first thing we need to do is check to see if we're in a primitive. I think that's the fastest, easiest thing to check. So we're going to say ea.element as primitive expression, and if it's null, we're out. Okay. Otherwise, we need to, I'm just wondering if this should be a separate method, to go up and see get the parent is what I think we need to do. So let's step through the code and we'll see what kind of values we're working with here. So primitive expression is here. Primitive expression.parent. Let's see if we can get a hint on this, even though it's this gives me a hint. It's a method call expression. Cool. So we'll do this method call expression. Call expression is there. And set execution point there. And so now we've got method call expression. And let's see what its name is. Oops.
Now we're going to need the qualified piece to get string.format rather than just format.
Yes. So we're going to say if name is not null, or wait, is not equal to format, then we're out. Okay? Mm-hmm. Let's see what the qualifier is. Qualifier. Yeah, let's go get dot name. Let's go put this down the watch window. I was hoping to be able to see this quickly without the watch window taking up some space, but it's going to take up some space. All right. So interesting. The qualifier's name is also format. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is instead of checking this name, I'm going to actually go into its qualifier. So let's do this dot qualifier, and let's actually see what the type is of the qualifier, because that's also something we're going to want. So just so anybody who's not quite following what I'm doing, I should put the caret inside a string.format call. I'm doing something similar to what we do when we bring up the expressions lab to check, but instead I'm actually using the watch window to just go up and look at the pieces. So there's a qualifier, and its type is a method reference expression. So let's do this. So let's say. So we're going to do this, inx, get out of there, and then we're going to do this qualifier as method reference expression, clear local there, This is going to be the, this is what I'm thinking is the format call. This name should be format. Okay, that's what I'm expecting. And then on top, and then that is going to itself have a qualifier. There it is. It's format. Okay, so we're good there. Then what we want to do is we want to say format call.qualifier has whatever type it is. Let's go see what it is. It's probably this. Well, no, it's probably type reference expression is probably what it is because we're now looking at the word string. It says element reference expression. Okay, well we added that as type ERE. Remember the previous session where I added element reference expression shortcut mnemonic for it as ERE? There it is right there. So so we've got this declared local. This is going to be the string qualifier right here, and if string qualifier.name is not equal to string and string qualifier.name is not equal to CodeRush dot, where do you think I'm going with this? Language dot get simple type name of system dot string, then we're out.
Yeah.
Okay? Hopefully some of you saw that coming, right? Because string is one way of saying it, and also string is another way of saying it, and maybe there's something else in another language, a simple type name for string that's like str, str, something like that. Okay, so at this point, okay, right now, at this point, we are inside a string.format call. Not only that, we're inside the string. Wait, not guaranteed actually. We need to know that we're inside actually the first parameter of it, the zero argument. So let's take that one. I know it's a little crazy, right? At this point, you're thinking, wait a second, Mark. You know, who's going to put the format items in another parameter? But it's possible. So let's go ahead and do it. So we've got this method call expression out here. This is the outer one. This is the one. There it is. You can see right there. This is helpful, right? String format, hello, and so there you see the parameters, the arguments to it. We want to check to see we're inside string.format calls. What's true here? Now we want to go into arguments. Okay, and we specifically want to go into arguments of 0. So let's first check to make sure arguments length, if arguments dot what is it length arguments count is greater than 0. Now, if it's equal to if it's less than or equal to 0, then we're going to get out. Okay. Then we're going to go say arguments of 0 dot range dot contains. We want to make sure it contains the source point where we are. We're going to go in EA dot caret dot source point. Wait, what is it? Don't have a source point in here, huh? I can do line and offset. So how about a note to devs on this that ea.caret, the event args in the check search availability event args, Rory, you hear this note to the devs I want you to send me? I'm expecting that to have source point inside of it. So what we'll do instead, I guess we'll do, what contains, this contains also take a line and an offset, it does. So let's do this the old-fashioned hard way, ea.caret.offset. Okay? So if it does not contain that, then we're out. Okay, let's go back up here, put the caret execution point here. Oops, no, we don't want to do that. And let's just double check all this. We already checked the name, right? Should we qualify our name? I'm not sure. Let's go all the way up to here and just step through everything. Okay, step, 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 and then we want to have just one extra line of code so we can see that this is actually true or false. We'll just do this. And we'll set a breakpoint here, and we'll just do step. Yes, okay. So at this point now, we're inside the first string argument to a string.format call. And now we know that with certainty.
Yeah.
Okay? Next, what we need to do is go get some format items on it. Okay? So we're going to call get format items. We are going to pass in, I think, call expression arguments of 0, I think. Uh-oh. Dot name. Let's see if that gives us what we're expecting it to give us. There it is. Hello, your average score is this. It's a string. Okay? In fact, it's a string that starts with a quote and ends with a quote.
Yeah.
We could take those off if we wanted to. I also, would contend that for the purposes of doing this, it really doesn't matter because our parser is going to just find those format items. So I'm going to not take those off.
Might, because
okay, might.
The relative offsets will be off by 1 because of that first quote mark.
Well, if I take it off, it'll be off by 1, and I'll have to put it back in.
I guess it depends how you're planning on using them after the fact.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right. So let me do one other thing because I've got the same reference twice in here. Let's make this a little more efficient. Let's introduce local replace all, and then we'll just call this arguments. Argument of 1, or first argument. I'm going to call it first string argument. Okay. Get format items. Declare local on that. Now we want to say, I'm pretty sure this is going to be so if it's null or format items, format items dot count equals 0, then we're out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see what we get. F10, we should step into it. Oh man. Why? What? Why? Object reference not set to a ref. Oh, okay, I messed up somewhere. All right, so let's just run. Let's get. Notice we were over in CodeRush over there. We were in the CodeRush core there for a moment there. Let's try it again. Tab key. Okay, so we made it all the way down to here. And I bet the problem is we're not. Oh, we do create a new one here. Here's our null ref. Let's do this. Debugging exceptions. Tell me when I step on this. Let's just run it. And step. And, oh, we actually got into it this time. We did not have a problem. Interesting. So here we go. Number string is 0. Format item position. Brace offset is 8. Length is 1. Okay, length is actually going to be a problem because that length is the length since we saw the open. It also does not include the close. So what I need to do is make that length greater. It's 2 now. It's going to be length plus 2. Whenever I do this, I like to explain what the heck's going on, what the magic number is doing here. 2 for the opening and closing braces. And probably another or alternative, or maybe an even better approach would be to create declare a local here, that a constant that says that basically says count for delimiters, for brace delimiters. So now we don't have it in a comment. Count for brace delimiters is there, something like that. Okay, so let's put the caret here now, so that gets initialized in there. All right, so we have a new format item. If result, it does not contain it, and we're going to create the new format item. We're going to set its number equal to that, and then we're going to add it to the result there. And then here, we're going to call add. So that's working like I'm expecting it to. All right, let's get out of here. I don't know why. You know what might have happened? Sometimes this happens during edit continue, Rory. I miss a line to move the
oh, I see. So you extract
a
piece out and then don't execute that to give it an actual value.
Kind of, yeah.
The second
exactly.
run through, it does get, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's null, and that's why we had the problem the first time and not the second time. So now we've got some format items.
We do.
We have 2. Okay, so now what we want to do is iterate through those format items. Actually, I think I want to go through format. I want to go through format items dot its values. Yeah, so copy that to clipboard for each. This I think is wrong. I think that should have given me this. I think that's what's correct. There we go. All right. So for each value in the format item there, let's just call this format item. With this, we need to see if the location of where we are is inside one of those that we found. So let's do this. We need to. I guess we could create a range, a source range. So let's try that. New source range, and use that awesome contains method. So it's going to take. It has a couple options. One of them is line and offset. So we'll say ea.caret.line, and the first offset is going to be first string argument dot range dot start dot offset plus the format item dot offset. Whoops, format item. Ooh, I forgot about this. Hold on. All right, and this is now format item position. All right, there we go. Because we could have those multiples, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so here we go. Plus format item, no, position dot offset. That's the start. Then it's looking for the end line and the end offset. The end line is going to be the same. And the end offset is going to be that plus the position dot length. Okay. Yeah, I can line like that. We'll just call it line. All right, so line is there. This is going to be the first string. This is going to be the string offset. This is the offset where the string starts. Let's move this up to here. And I think, so there's our source range. And then what we can do is we can say, if source range dot contains line comma ea dot caret dot offset, then we can return, and we can also say ea dot available equals true. Let's do introduce local placeholder for this one. This would be the caret offset like that. I think I do want to rename the line to caret line. Okay. That's going to tell us that we're available. I bet you we hit, I'm going to set a breakpoint here and another one down here, and I bet you we hit here if I run. Oh! It's like, all right, let's find out why I didn't make it. Why didn't I make that? Come on. I thought that was awesome. All right, so let's go through here, step through it, step through it, step through it. All right, so we got a source range, and let's look at the range. The range is, whoa, 0. Ah, it's the thing I was talking about, Rory. Edit and continue.
Yeah.
It just got me again.
Yeah.
All right, so run. Now I'm going to run it again. Now I'm here.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so we are now available. Yay, we are available. Okay. Mm-hmm. Whoa, a lot of code here, right? Just to get to this point, right? That we're available. I'm going to run it. I think I'm going to shut down. I'm going to refactor a bit, then come back in. Okay. Everybody going to be okay with that? Now back in search references. We're not actually doing anything, so tab index references isn't going to work. But at least we don't have the tab key. Oh, and we've got a problem. Look at what happened, Rory. Do you see what happened?
The other search provider is taking over and deciding to look for copies of this string.
Yeah. So we're going to have to open that up. But before we open it up, we're going to have to make a change over there. All right, let's go to plugins. we're going to have to shut this down. Okay, let's shut this one down. Boom. But that plugin is loaded in this one that we're building from. And we need to make a change to that plugin, some kind of change, so it doesn't go when we're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so you're not depressed, are you, Roy? You're not sad.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just trying to take on board the very large amount of code we've been looking at.
Okay, all right. So my apologies for that. It's, you know, you do have this. This is going to be recorded. So let me open up my plugins folder. Here we go. Here's the plugins folder. We need primitive tab to remove this. And I'm pretty sure if we try to delete this here, it's going to say, sorry, no, you can't. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to have to close this instance of Visual Studio down. Boom. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Come on. There, it's gone. Also kill our string formatter because we want to work with that. Boom. Let's open up a few more instances of Visual Studio. One. So we have source code to both of these. You know, we have source code to this other plugin that's interfering with this one. We just wrote that source code like what, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm actually okay going out and making the change this way. What I want to do is I want to create a context that in our latest plugin that says the other plugin, now you're not, don't worry about it. We are in a special situation, don't go. Okay, does that make sense? So yeah. We'll create a context here. So what I need to do, where is that primitive tab? So primitive tab was one of them. Did I open up start two instances of Visual Studio? Looks like I did. Primitive tab was one. And the other one is not in here. Let's open it up. And string formatter. Boom. Let's go back to primitive tab. Primitive tab.
So you're going to extract a bunch of the code you've just written to sort of make a context in string token, kind of.
I'm going to do something like this instead. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to put. I don't want to share. I don't want to put code in two different places. We could, if we were going to use code that we just wrote over here. What I would do is create a separate DLL and have both of these plugins use that.
Sure.
Okay. But I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this: CodeRush.context.get. Oh shoot! Well, what is it? Oh, is satisfied? Satisfied. Boom. Shoot! I wanted to be able to see if context existed or not before we call this. I thought for sure we had a get call on context here. Ooh, get context provider. That's what I want. Okay. So get context provider, and I just want to see if this. I'm writing a check here to basically see if the provider we're about to write exists or not. Okay. In fact, let's do this. Let's just set a breakpoint. Let's just comment this out, and we'll come back. Let's go back over here, and let's create that context now, so we don't have to all be like thinking like, what? What's Miller doing? All right. So we want a context provider. And maybe we'll do this in two parts because we are running up at an hour now. Although I really want to just keep going. I'm in this crazy kind of, I haven't even had caffeine today, Rory. I'm like, where's my caffeine?
I don't know how you do that.
All right, so here we go. Let's set some properties in here. So my context provider, the provider name, this is the string we're going to look for on the other side. So I'm going to call this system. Anything that has to do with like, not the editor and other kinds of things that I share. I start with the word system, and then after system we will put what this is. So we will say in format. Oh, wait, we could actually do this. This actually might be interesting. Editor/code, because it's actually in a particular location. In format item. That's what I think I'll do. So if editor code in format item, so that will appear editor code in this pit right here. So it'll be like right about in there, in format item. That actually makes sense because it is a code construct kind of piece. So CTX in format item, However, if it's not there, what happens is CodeRush will put up a dialog to every user that says, hey, we didn't find this context, what do you want the default answer to be? Right? Somebody's asking for a context that doesn't exist. Tell us what it should be. Later on, when the context exists, that will override the default that you give it. But it's just so CodeRush can figure out what to do. So in format item, and we'll say satisfied if the caret is inside a format item, like inside a string.format call, e.g. oops, like that.
No.
Tell me, Rory, what are you thinking? I don't like it when you make that sound.
Yeah, string format isn't the only place this is used. You've also got a string builder, append format. The same logic is used.
Good point. Was that raised by you or one of our watchers?
No, that's just me.
Brilliant, Rory. Right, so we'll need to just write a note on. Can you write a note?
Yeah.
Note on cleanup, but we'll have to do that. Also, you reminded me of something else. You can also pass it in a toString call.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is this is only for well, I'm sorry, hold on. The toString call, that's for the actual format item, the actual text, which we'll get to in a little bit, or maybe next time. So in part 2. So for this though, you've got append format, and so we will. And there are actually other places where you can use this too. You can write your own functions that take in these and then pass them on to string.
Well, would it be worth just not testing at this stage the method that it's been called on and just determining that we're in a token within a string?
Yes. We could do that. The reason I added the check, though, is because for performance reasons, as I figured it would be faster to just quickly check the parents and what their types are in the names than it would be to parse. That's kind of what I was estimating. I don't know if that's true or not. So we'll just say format item. We'll just do this for now, for the context. Okay? So we'll do that. Then we'll come over here, context satisfied, and oops, didn't need to do that. And I said I wanted to refactor this thing anyway.
So people looking at the check availability routine there and thinking there's a lot of code, just remember that we are calling a lot of things that will, if they fail, immediately kick out of this routine. And so these aren't all checked each and every time. The only time they'll all be checked is when they're all true, or just before they're all true. So it's a very small minority of time that these actually all kick off.
You know, I didn't do an extract method on this because of all the return statements on there. I don't like the code that we generate from that. And so I figured it would be like a little faster than having to explain why we have a should return that we're passing back. So it's actually better than Visual Studio because Visual Studio won't extract that at all because of the return blocks inside of it. So, however, it's something I want to improve. All right. Yeah, you like that. All right, so I'm going to say return false, and then so we're down here to return true at the end of that. So this becomes something like if not inside string format call, then return. Now, if we want to, Rory, to do what you were suggesting, we just simply comment out that code right there. Okay. Oh, but one of these is: are we in a string? Are we in a primitive expression? So we'll do this. Take this down. Oops. Primitive expression. All right, let's do this.
Well, that's okay, isn't it? Being inside of a string is exactly what we do want to detect.
Yeah, I want to move that outside of there is what I'm saying, is what I want to do. I want to move this.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, so that's what I want to do. So I want to so what are we doing here? It's primitive expression. All right. This is like manual refactoring. This is like definitely you can see that I want to make something a little bit better here. It's rare that I have to do this, but when I do, I'm like, All right, so inside string format call, pass in the primitive expression there. Just this piece. Oh, wait, just this piece. Okay. This is my primitive expression. Did I take out first string argument? Yeah, I should have done this not by hand, I think. It's ugly the other way though too. All right, let's go back. We'll experience a different kind of ugly. All right, so I'll explain what I was trying to avoid. So we're going to go, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. Almost there. All right, so we're here, and when we extract this, what we end up getting is we get the output parameters, all the other things that we need, but also the should return piece at the end, which is basically, and you get all this code here, should returns true. It's exactly identical to what the code was before, but before we use that, you know, we do the return to get out of there quickly because it cleans up the code, and when you do an extract method on it, it results in ugly code. Let me go back and I'll show you a better way to maybe get around that. So it's a little bit of coding to get around it. Let me scroll back so we can see a little more of this. So if you have this kind of situation where you have all these returns and you want to change them up, what you typically want to do, and I'm kind of contemplating refactoring to do what I'm about to do, but the idea is at the end of all of this block, you're really checking to see if first argument is null or not. That's really what you're kind of getting to, right? Is there anything else that you're using in here? Maybe a few things, but that's really the main thing you're looking at there. What's first argument? So what I want to do is let's do for string argument. Let's do this. Let's bring this up to the top. Set that equal to null, like this. And then we come down here, we take this block, come in here and we say LB for else begin block. We just keep doing this all the way down every time we see return. LB, like that. LB, and that. LB. And there we go, LB, and then there. And then what we want to do, if it does not contain it, then we want to do set to null. Then we come back and we're going to reverse these and kill the else. Reverse this, kill the else. Reverse this, kill the else. So I guess another way around this, if you're you know, I think the lesson to me on this, Rory, is instead of trying to clean up the code while I write it by having all these returns to get out of here, because I like to have everything left indented, instead it looks like what I need to do is build it deeply indented, find the thing I'm trying to create, right, this first string argument right here, and then come down, you know, and then my code down here comes something like this. If that's null, then I'm going to get out. So I have one exit point instead of multiples. And now I can come in here like this and take this block of code, extract this out, get the first string argument, looks like that, and now we have cleaner code and I don't know what other crap I've got to clean up. Does that make sense? Did you follow that, Rory?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
All right. Okay, so now so get first string argument is actually, we might want to change this, get first string argument of String.Format call. Like that. And so now we've got, that's what it looks like. And now from there I can go in and call get format items on it and then check. Now the only thing that we don't have, that we lost a caret line. So let's go grab those two, and we can actually inline these both here. And No, it should be okay. All right, so this is the availability check right here. What I want to do is kind of take all of this and put this in another location. Actually, before we do this, the other thing I'm going to do too is decompose parameter here, give it a language element and a line and an offset. I like that better. Okay, so all right. So now we can call this. That is there. Let's do the same trick we were done before. Copy. And swap this around. First conditional. Get rid of the else. And then here the same thing. Swap it around. Yeah, so the lesson to me, I think, is go deeply nested because it's going to be easier and quicker to return to refactor that. And so what I want to do here is instead, I want to just have a simple availability check. DB is available. Set that equal to false. Then come down to here. Set that equal to true. And bear with me a minute. I'm going to put that return back in there. And then we're going to say EA dot is available equals is available, and let's pull this whole thing out. We're going to say in format item like this. And we'll also do a decompose parameter here to get those pieces there. All right, so in format item, and now what we want to do here is simply say return is available. Oh, because it's not a balloon. I just realized this is going to be return false here. Let's convert the function. Oh, come on! Why didn't you get that? Is available. Try again. Seriously? We'll do that ourselves. And then I want to do the opposite of that. I want to inline the result. There we go. Return is available. Return true. Boom. All right. So yeah, that refactoring was a little gnarly to get here, a little slow, but we're here, and we now have an in-format item call that we can now make. So now, inside of our context satisfied, we can say EA dot satisfied equals in-format item. Here we're not going to have an element, so we're going to just do the CodeRush dot source dot active element, just active, and then we're going to say, here we're going to say CodeRush, CodeRush dot caret. We have caret. We have caret already. So caret line CodeRush dot caret dot offset. We'll pass those in. Okay. So yes, Roy, that question about the satisfying that the get first argument of string format call, we could change this up a little bit. That's what we could do. But let me just clean this up. Anything I can do? Clean that up there. Everything else looks good. Okay. So all right. So now we've got our context. And next, what I want to do is I want to finish. Let's flesh out the. Oh wait, let's go into here. Let's get the name of this editor code in format item. Boom. Let's come back over to the primitive tab, and let's pass that in. Okay. and in format item provider. If not null, then do we have this context satisfied? Satisfied call is context satisfied. Nice. That's no parameters. So you can say if it's context satisfied, then return. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it does need parameters. There we go. That's why I'm getting the squiggly. This was all a comment from before. We're talking about an alternative way of doing this. I guess we'll keep the comment there. So I've added these lines of code now. What's cool about this is that, well, what I think is cool about this is let's run this without the context provider existing and see what happens. Okay? So let's run this primitive tab first.
So just to remind people, this is the previous plugin we wrote, the tabs between string primitives in this case, and in this case we're going to try and prevent it from doing that on the grounds, well, if the context we've just suggested might exist, actually exists and is satisfied.
I love it when you talk, Roy, because it's time to grab some cashews. All right. Let's open up Object Initializer Test. And let's hit the tab key. Tab. All right. What happens when I hit F10? It comes back null. Beautiful. Okay? So we're available. Step one, satisfied. Here, just so everybody can see that it's really there, we're working. When I hit tab, let's get rid of this. So I could have called CodeRush context.satisfied. But the problem is if I call that and it doesn't exist, CodeRush is going to put up some UI. And I don't want any UI to come up if that thing is not installed, if this other plugin that we're writing now is not installed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go. That's it. It's working. All right, close this down. Sure, save changes. Okay, this one is, I think, done. Well, actually, let's actually come back. Let's build. And let's come back over here and just run. So the active building puts the plugin out there now that both this plugin, the primitive tab, and the other one will be loaded.
Yep.
So now this time, when we hit the tab key, we should get a non-null answer back if we've done everything correctly. Furthermore, it should return satisfied if we're in the right spot and not satisfied if we're in the wrong spot. Okay? So that's what we're looking for. So Object Initializer Test. I'm so bummed because the second part of this is, I think, going to blow your mind away. It looks like we may not have time. Okay, so here, tab. Okay, now I'm expecting to see something back. I do. Is it satisfied? No, it's not, so we're continue to be available. That's what I'm expecting because I put the caret here, right? I didn't put it there. Let's now put the caret inside and hit the tab key and see if that code is working. Oh, look at that.
There we go.
So, like, how many people were like going, "Oh my God, he's refactoring. Is this even going to work still? Oh my God, Miller, please just copy code and paste it. Why must you refactor?" All right, so there we go. So good. All right, so let's close. Let's go back. We're done with primitive tab. Primitive tab is working according to me. I'm ready to ship that. Roy, I'm going to send you source to this too. Right,
yep.
So you can update. You're going to need to put a note out when we put this other one up that if you have primitive tab, make sure you got the latest version. Oh, wait. Primitive tab. Let's change the version number on this thing. Where's my version? Assembly version. Let's make it 1.1. Okay, so you can tell people.
The community plugins are automatically upgraded to a version that is representative of the code that's checked into the repository, so it will naturally have a higher number.
Well, aren't you a genius then? Aren't you a genius, young man? All right. We're not far away. Okay, so let's finish this part at least, okay? Because we need to make this thing search, right? So we can write that code now, or we can write that code later when we run. I said let's write it when we run. So let's run. All right, object initializer test. Okay, so I'm going to give you a preview of what we're going to do next time. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So you can see just how cool this feature is going to be. I don't want to wait though. What's the, how are people doing out there that are watching? Do you guys want to keep going, or are you guys like thinking, oh man? All right, I'm going to hit the tab key here, tab. I'm expecting to find that breakpoint here. Well, there's this one. I'm expecting to see this one here in a second. So I'm going to run, and we're there. Good. Okay.
Excellent.
So now let's go. Where's the format item? There you go. Get first string argument. Oh, I still got a copy code. So I need to refactor a little more. But at any rate, let's go. So right here, and we're going to say ea.element.
We got at least one guy in the chat room that says, keep going.
Okay. Who is that, by the way?
That's Mr. James Counts.
James! James was the one, the brilliant guy who gave us the Disposomatic plugin, right? Who gave us that
That's
idea?
the one.
By the way,
Yeah.
I need to clean up a little bit on that. We found we had like 2 bugs, I think, maybe, or two minor bugs with that, issues that I need to go look at. All right, so here's the first argument, and get format items. This is the real key right here. Boom. Then here, I guess we can do all of this. This is going to be ea.caret.line. It's going to be ea.caret.offset. And I should have just moved this up here. And then just use caret line, caret offset down here.
That's got to be the best quote I've heard all day. James is in the chat room. Mark Miller called me brilliant. That's going on my resume.
There you go. I just see I'm going to be fielding phone calls here in the future. So, Mr. Miller, James Counts, brilliant or not? Well, all right. So, So let's see. Here we go. Get format items. This is the real key. I'm going back. I know. I didn't want to do that. Oh, because we have more code down here. That's why it didn't refactor the way I was expecting it to. Let's comment that out for a sec. And then flatten this. I really like it flat like this. I know it's going to come in later to get me. Okay, he says, I know it's going to get me. I'm not going to flatten it yet. All right, so so there's our source range. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to go in. We saw this last time in ea.addRange. We need a new file source range. That takes a source file and a range. We just built the range. Oops, source range is what we called it. So there's the range. We just need a source file. And source file, we should be able to get, I wonder if we get from the first string argument. .get source file, there you go, kids. Declare local source file. Boom, boom. Let's step through it. See what we got. Boom, boom. Oh, wait, not quite done yet. So let's refresh our memory. Format item. Let's drop it down in here in the watch window. Here it comes. And its properties are ID, 0. ID is 0. What I really want is to add block delimiters there. ID 0, we got to get that argument. Oh, now I need the thing that's inside here. I need method call expression. It's the parent of the primitive. It's also the parent of the first argument, which is actually the primitive as well, right? So I just need to do this. That's what I need to get to the thing I'm looking for. So so let's just look at this. Yeah, there you go. You can see it's the primitive right there. So let's also do this. Parent. Let's execute. Let's return the execution to this line of code. Now I've got method call expression is there. Now I can come down and get its arguments and pass those in as well. So we're coming down in here, source range, we're adding it. So this is the format item. The ID is 0, so that corresponds to argument 1. So what I need is I need method call expression dot arguments of format item dot ID plus 1. ID 0, yep, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to get me an argument,
The correct argument.
an expression, whatever that's going to be. Oops. What did you say, Rory?
No, I'm agreeing.
And the only thing I want to do is I want to make sure that we don't have that we're not referring to something outside of that link. So what I want to do is I want to say if format, because here's the thing, if we don't have the argument for this, that's the code issue, right? You can see the code for the code issue right here in front of us, right? So if ID is greater than or equal to method call expression dot argument count, then we're in trouble. So let's just do this. Let's just say if it's less than arguments count, then we can go do this next bit of code right here. So expression is equal to that. Then we can go in and say add range.
Is there an off by 1 error there?
Maybe.
ID can be 0, which would still be less than.
Oh, thanks.
No, you're right. I think you're right actually. No, less than means that it'll always be.
So
correct.
if 0 is less than the count, yes, the count. Wait, hold on a second though. So let's think about this. The argument count is 1. That means we've got a string. We still need to be more than 1. I think you're right. It needs to be this plus 1. If the format item ID, if it's 0, if it's 0, arguments count has got to be. So ID, if ID is 0, arguments count has to be 2. Is that right? Hold on, I'm on the wrong side.
If ID is 0, you're about to try accessing element 1, therefore there must be at least 2, otherwise there's a failure.
Yes, you were right. So this is the correct code we're looking at right here. Or we could say the opposite. We could put a -1 on this side, right? In fact, something that would make it clearer, I think, is if we did this. Arguments ID index here, and now say if argument index, you like that? Are you happier now?
Yeah.
I'm happier. Nice. I like that. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're adding the range for each of those, the curly braces, and we're adding a range for the argument, so we can go back and forth. And I just want to kind of run it and trust that this is all going to work. So I hit run. Why didn't it show me what's going on? Oh, there we go. What? How did the 1 get here?
Okay.
Let me try one more time. I just want to try because we did the edit and continue. If it happens again, why? Oh wait, hold on. I think I got it.
Iterate through all the format items rather than just.
That's what it was. That's what it was. All right, so let's figure that one out and solve that problem here. Let's go back over here. Tab. Whoops.
A nested for each when the first one should only have pulled it out by ID.
Yes, I think you're right. So how do I get, which ID do I want to get? I need to say, so this gets all the format items for this. No, wait. This gets all the format items for this string.
Yeah.
I need to find out which one we're in, which format item we're actually in right now. That's what I need to do. So, oh, that sucks. I need another method. I hate copying code so much, and it's like I'm like, edit and continue. I'm in this edit and continue thing where I can't like extract method. All right, so I think what we need are 2 loops. One, the first one to find out where we are, and the second then to use that as the index, I think. So let's do this. Let's do this. There's my copy loop right there. So for each position, there's my source range. Then I want to say if source range dot contains ea dot caret dot line comma ea dot caret dot offset, then we want to do something like this. Wait, let's do this. We got index item number. So that equal -1. We're going to say item number here equals format item dot ID. Then we're going to say break And down here at the end of this loop, we're going to say if item number is greater than or equal to 0, then break again. Okay, so there's our item number. This we don't need. Then we can come down here. You can totally see what this is going to look like when we refactor it, right? Item number is greater than 0. Then what we want is format items. You just really need to work with format items of item number. We don't need the other loop. Like that. Oh, we do need braces around this though. Okay. So let's try that. Let's go, where's our execution point? Right there? All right. Let's go to here and see if we get an item number that's valid. Ah, what? Format item does not exist in the current context. Oh, here. Oh, okay. That's format items of item number. This is I love doing this refactoring right here. You have a.b like this. Just select A, introduce local, replace all, and there we go. Okay, so now we'll run it. Give me an item number that's good. 0, I'll take it, right? Remember, we initialized it to -1, and then run. Now, the zeros.
There we go.
Let's put on the 1, hit the tab, clear our breakpoints, clear the breakpoints. Look at that. That one's a little bit disorienting because this is actually the number 0 here, right, in quotes. But it's actually there. And now, if we go here on a string, we can still tab from string to string. Holy cow, Rory. What'd you say?
I said everything working in harmony.
Everything is working in harmony. Look at that. Tab, tab, tab. I like this. This is a cool feature.
It is good.
All right, you guys want to see the preview of what's coming? Hold on. Where is it? I'll show you what's coming. It's going to blow your mind. Blow your mind. Should we just keep going or not? How's everybody doing? Do we keep going or do we not?
Vote in the chat room.
Who wants to cry? Anybody just like need a break, like a week-long break from this, and we'll come back. Jeff, Amanda, do you have any problems if we keep going?
They're still there.
I have a surprise for you. You ready? Normally we don't do this. Hold on, wait, why didn't that work? Drag. Seriously? Oh, come on. All right, fine, hold on. We'll get around it. Open with? I don't have an open with here? What's going on in this world? All right, hold on. Open.
I think I missed a step. What are you trying to do there?
I'm trying to drag a file over to it, and it wouldn't let me drag and drop a file. Here we go. Boom. I've got some pre-baked code. And you're going to love it when you see this. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. Wait, where's the form? Bring up the form. Boom. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Does that make you happy?
Seriously?
Yeah. Is that awesome? Somebody's calling me from DevExpress right now. Wow. They're probably like, your webinar is too long. Get off the phone. Hold on. I'm gonna get the phone. Hello? Yeah. Who is this? Hey, Bobby. I'm actually doing a webinar live right now, and you're recording. Can we? Can I call you back? All right. Talk to you later. That was very urgent. I'm sure that was Bobby who wanted to talk to me about my raise or something like that. But we'll call him back. It's like, all right. So
reaction from the chat room is, I want this.
You want it? Okay. So should we do it? All right. Should we go? Let's do it. So I pre-baked this code. So because I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to do this live, right? Adding all these pieces. So look at this view code. I'll just show you the code. It's not much, right? But basically, it's a bunch of code for basically showing you the sample data, doing some formatting, allowing you to get these pieces in, and number one, giving you discoverability into a lot of the power of String.Format.
Sure.
It doesn't give you everything, but it gives you a lot.
Well, it's like one of those regular expression builders. Nobody seems to remember any of the syntax, but you bring one of the builders up, you push the buttons, and away you go.
Okay, so what I want to do is this. Are we going then? So we're going to keep going then. I want to be on one of these String.Format calls like this, right? Something like this. I want to put the caret here, and I want to hit the CodeRush refactor key, and I want an option down here that says Format Item. And I'm a code provider. That brings up the dialog, lets me select it, and then comes back down and writes code for me.
Sure.
What do you think, Roy? Next week or keep going?
I'm good either way, man. You want to go?
Way?
Let's go.
I'm gonna need just a couple cashews to keep going on this. All right, here we go. All right. So step one, we need to drop a code provider.
Yeah.
We've done this before.
We have.
Provider name. Insert format item, I think. Or maybe just format item? Item formatter? Formatter. I'm not sure.
Format item's good.
Format item. Yeah, okay, that's good. Brings up the string formatter dialog. Like that. And the action hint text will be format item, just like we see. And let's call this CP format item. And actually, I want to do a ... to indicate that or actually we can do this here. We can do it on display name, actually. It's better here. The reason I'm making a difference between these two is because this is what, if somebody wants to call this programmatically, they're unlikely to remember the ... is there. So I'll just let them, but I will put it here so it follows the convention.
And convention says if we're going to launch a dialog, then we have the triple dots.
So here we go. Check availability. Are we in the format item? So we'll say ea.available equals in format item. Okay, that takes care of step one. Step two is apply. This is a little trickier. I haven't actually thought of what the code's going to be here yet, but let's. But I think we should be able to get it pretty quickly. The one thing I was just realizing though is that the namespace for that piece of code I just put in there is different from the namespace that we're in currently. So let's change that namespace. Okay, so it matches, the namespace matches. And then we'll come over here and apply. Well, we're definitely going to do this. We're going to do something like this. We're going to say new string formatter, boom, clear local. And what I'd like to do is send it the string that already exists. I would like to do something like this. Dot initial string equals, and then I want to like have the parse format item string and pass that in. That's kind of what I really want. So let's set this equal to string.empty, and let's see what we can do to get that that format item string. We basically, so let's do some refactoring here. Get item number. Whoa, what are we passing in? Format items. I'm not liking that. I'm going to do that. Do I have an extract too?
Be good if we could have the individual entry for that particular location, because we'd have the start, the length, and then we could gather the text of it as well.
For the
We've
caret
already made a
location.
collection of these.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm sorry. This is making me choke, but I'm like, you know, because of the timing on this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just I'm going to copy that code. What's my format items? Where did I get that from? Yeah. This is called the get format items there. It's just not. Yeah, I'm totally gonna refactor this. I'm not happy with this code at all, and I will be reformatting. I will be cleaning this code up. I promise you. So what did I need here? I need. Let me just copy this bit right here. Come down. Get this. Okay, so yeah, this is ugly. I totally agree and admit that this is ugly code. It needs to be beautiful. Because yeah, that's the thing, is this code can be totally beautiful. The problem is because of time constraints, I'm going with the copied code, and I will fix this and beautify this. We'll get this initial version up, and then I'll put on my to-do list to refactor this and make this more beautiful. So let's see here. We are iterating through all these. The source range contains it. Then we found that we have the piece, the magic piece. So instead of going with item number, I think what I want to go with instead is the format item position is what I want to get instead. So I want to say the active position equals position, like that. And I want to it is, shoot. It is a struct. So we'll just do this. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out if I need to, all right, I'm going to change this to a class so I can work with null on this. Jump back. And so now set this equal to null because I want to test on null. And now come down here and say if null, just to add some code at the end that works with that. So let's have this bit refactored out. There's still some there's still some stuff out there. All right, so active position is not null. Then we now have some information on that piece that's out there. Of course, get active position. You know what else I wanted from there though? Is I wanted let me undo that a second because there was another piece I needed from that bit of code, and that was the offset. The string offset, so that I can grab that in the string line, the first argument. I think what I really want is the first string argument from that as well. And first string argument not null, so I'll just put that check there. Now I'll extract this out. Get string hard plus active position. Okay, and now what we can do is we can say the string equal to ea dot the text document, the do dot get text, and then oops, I don't want that. I want to pass in. How do I calculate the string offset is there? All right. The text, and it's going to be call that line. So we'll go. There we go. Get text. Line, and come on, where is it? There it is, offset. So string offset. So there's the start of it, okay, plus active position dot offset. So we went from the very beginning of that to the same line number and active position offset plus active position dot length. Now that parse string should be correct. Let's go over here. Let's declare the property and let's add backing store to this. And so we have initial string that we're setting, and we need to show the dialog. Then we need to add the code back in. So initial string, I think what I'll do right now inside of here is I will say there's a box in here called text.format string.text. I'll say that's equal to initial string. There's one problem at least that I'm aware of, and that is that this format string does not show you the alignment portion of the string. So we need kind of a to-do here to strip out the alignment.
Yeah.
And then we need to also generate some code. But when we get to this point, I'm going to set a breakpoint, and let's just run it and see how we're doing. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do is, this is the part I asked Alex about at the very beginning, is find out what argument, the corresponding argument, find out what its type was, so that we can initialize the dialog that comes up with some data that's appropriate to that type. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm I want to do that because there's different kinds of data that we can initialize it to see what the results of that format call are. So let's do this. We're going to put the caret here, get the CodeRush refactor key, and format item. Brings up the string formatter dialog. Click that. Okay, and now we're over here. Step, 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 step. What's the string? Nice. There's the string. But, okay, so what I really want to do though is I want to take off, okay, I want to say this. I want to say if dot length is greater than or equal to 3, then we're going to come in and actually clean it up a bit. I want to say if string of 2 equals, no, not of 2, but of the length minus 1 equals the closing piece, I want to get rid of it. There we go. We'll say dot remove at dot length minus 1, and remove actually returns a string, so we need to say that's equal to that. Then I want to do something similar, but without all of that. I want to say if 0 is equal to the open piece, zero, comma 1. Just for consistency, I'll put 0, comma 1, I'll put a comma 1 here as well, even though it's the very end. Okay, so we just stripped out those two pieces. Let's watch that happen. All right, so now our string is just the number 0. So even 0. So now we need to take out the number. And I think it goes like this. It's like while this dot length. Why am I not seeing length there? Well, hold on. There it is. While length is greater than 0 and char.isDigit of 0, then I want to delete it. I want to remove it. Remove that first character. because I really want to just get to the format string. And then finally, I need to add it to do strip out the alignment text. That's my to-do. So ultimately, we get down to here, and our parse format string should be empty, completely empty.
Yeah.
And there we go. We're done, and it's empty. Okay. Dialog is up. So notice the value here of specifying what we're working with, right? If we know it's a date time, then we have all these pieces here, right? And so the way they work is if you want to, so format string is empty now, but if I want a long date, I can click there. It puts a D there in the format string, and there I can see the output, right? Short date looks like this. If I want to build a custom one, I can do that as well. Let me just clear this out. Custom one. So my preferred date format goes like this: the day, the month, and the year, like that. I like doing this. I like doing this because
use this every day.
What'd you say?
I'm going to use this every day. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. So there you can see. Also notice you can do so to set up some alignment as well. If you want to right align that, you can do that to specify the number of spaces, or left align it, so you can see the spaces here showing up as well, right? So pretty cool stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll right align it there. We'll click OK. Now we should go back over into click OK. Oh, seriously? Dialog result, I forgot to set that on it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so we got to shut down dialog result. Almost there, guys. I could, I just realized I could have fixed that programmatically, but we'll go ahead and fix it manually here. Hold on. Design time, I mean. Okay, so dialog result. This one's going to be okay. This one's going to be cancel. Well, that one I actually did. Just that one I forgot. Okay. All right, so we'll run it. Note to self, I need to set tab order on these. I'm sure the tab order is all messed up. And I need to refactor like crazy. But once this generates code, I'm going to just say, okay, I'm going to give you the source story, and then I'm going to clean it up. Okay, I'll fix things, clean it up. So anybody who's like chomping at the bit to get this right now, they'll be able to get this and actually use it. Yeah, it's cool. It is. Yeah, that refactoring thing really got us. There's a couple times where that all those returns that took way too much time to refactor that. I need to improve that experience. Okay, hit the CodeRush refactor key, choose format item. Dialog is up. We're going to say this is like a type integer. We'll build our own here. Here's our leading zeros. Here's our decimal places. And notice nothing is happening here. But if I say trailing zeros, well, we'll get the trailing zeros on there. Switch it over to a real type. There you can see what's going on. Drop this down, drop this down, drop this down. So there we see the zero because of this format. If I turn off trailing zeros, we don't see the zero because it's using this instead. This is the format string. You want 1,000 separator? You got it. Easy. You don't want it? It goes away. Sweet. This is awesome. All right. Cool. So we'll say, let's say, so this is our custom piece right here. Decimal places. Let's say it's 3, and we'll do trailing zeros for sure. So we'll force it. Click OK. That's the format string that we're expecting to put in. Boom. We're out of here. This dialog, I added some properties. I think it's got one called what? Format string. There it is. Format string. Let's see what it looks like. Windows, watch. That's the format string we saw. However, there's another piece to it as well, which is the alignment string, I think. Alignment string. No. Oh, I guess we said no alignment on it. Okay. So now we know what we need to inject into it, right? Oh, you know what I just realized? This parse item string, I got it down to 0. I really want to collect a number as well so I can regenerate the number. I just realized.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this one more time. The number stir is equal to s.e. We're almost there. So we're saying number stir plus equals parse format item string of 0, building the number left to right, adding it there. That should all work. And in this case, what I could do too is I could just hard code this now because we know what that number was. And the next time so we don't have to lose this other value. I'm going to set it equal to 0, like that. So now we want to generate the code inside of there. So we're going to do this. So we're equal to, it'll be okay, so we're going to say ea.textDocument.replace. We need the old source range. Come on, do I have it? Where's that item? Do we get the active position? Here we go. This defines the range right here. What I should do is I should cut that to the clipboard. I can say new source range. Pass in the same arguments here, and that should all work because I'm using this in a couple places. Pass source range there. This is the format item range. And this is, okay, format item range is there. We move this up to here and pass in format item range as the replace. The new code is going to go like this. This plus the number stir plus the alignment string. Let's drill into that. Does that got a getter on it? It does. Okay, so now we'll jump back. Okay, so now alignment string is going to guarantee to be not null, and so number string plus the alignment string plus the string formatter dot format string. That's the new code, and what's our last parameter? The string operation. We'll call this format item, and that might all work. Put the caret there. No, not done yet. Plus the closing brace. And that should work. Run. What? Okay, let's try one more time. Just one more time. What'd you say?
Maybe submit and continue.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Let's just, we're looking for a string that looks like that. Click OK. Okay, there
we go.
All right, so so that is. Oh wait.
You're missing is it a colon?
Yep, I'm missing a colon. Exactly. The colon needs to go right in here. So let's do this. Let's actually create. Let's create a new project that tests this out. Okay. And we'll just call it that. That's fine. And then so we can actually see that it's generating it. You know, the final product is what we're expecting it to be. So let's double click on the form, and we're going to set the title bar of the form. So text equals, whoops, your score is 42, like that. And it's CodeRush to introduce format item. Let's come back over here. Let's go in like this, bring up format item dialog, and now we are going to, so the sample data is real. We'll give it some leading zeros, and just click OK. And let's run, let's clear this breakpoint. And so let's, oh, we still missed it. Oh, I forgot to put the colon in. Okay. One more time. Boom, format item. Again, integer. What you can do is you can actually edit the sample input as well, and whatever this type is, it'll assign it to a type of that type, and then call format item on it. So you're actually seeing the real format item on whatever you put here. So it's very cool. So we'll give it a couple leading zeros, and we'll start with that. And so string number plus colon plus the alignment. Oh wait, alignment string comes first. Then it's the colon. And now run. All right, So now let's run it, and we want to see like some leading zeros there. Why do I have the period at the end? That looks like a mistake. 42? No, okay, that is not a mistake. It's right, because so there's a period here, which we're seeing in the title bar, the title of it right here. So that dot is there because we have no braces. Oh, the other thing is, let's actually stick a number inside of here. Let's try it again. Make sure that works the way we're expecting it to. There we go. Okay, 0042. All right, so there you see what we're expecting to see. Let's so now what I want to do is come in here and say format item. I want to stick a breakpoint over here. Parse format string. Now the format item string, parse format item string, is that, which makes sense. And now we're out. Let's, did the initial string do anything? So, oh yeah, it did. It did actually set it. So the initial piece when it comes in should be the same piece. Oh, but it forgot, it brought in the colon. So I need to clean up the colon to pull that out. Need to clean up a few other things. But it's, I think at this point, useful. You've got some discoverability. And, yeah. And I think we're going to, I'll call it a day because we're right about 2 hours. And,
yep.
And I'll clean this up. But yeah, it's very cool stuff. And you know, along with the alignment too, right? The alignment, like I said, you can come in here and do the build the alignment up, specify a particular side that you want that to be on, where you want it to be aligned, like aligning right, for example. There's also another interesting one that I didn't add support for, but if you have a big number, hold on, big number, and you put in a comma dot, it will. I think I have to be, it only works on reals. Oh, come on, what is it? There it is. So if you put a comma right before the dot, it divides by 1,000. It's a really odd string format option. Really odd. But at any rate, that's what you got, and it's pretty easy to build these things now. Hex is also available. Oh, it doesn't like hex on real, so let's go over here. Again, you can specify a number of digits. Notice if you specify fewer than the digits that you need, you still see all the significant digits like that, so you can specify that. This is lowercase hex, uppercase hex, all of that. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, nice. All right. Yeah. So with that, Rory, I will give me about, like, I'm going to get a little bit of lunch, and I'm going to clean up the code a little bit before I get it to you. Make sure we're back. No problem. So I'm going to say give me a couple hours. Anybody who's watching live, if you're, you know, hopefully that won't, you know, upset you too much. And Amanda, thanks. Jeff, thanks for this, sticking with us. And give us a couple hours. I'll get the source code out after I'm satisfied with it being clean. And we will see you next week. Sweet. CodeRush feature webinar. Amanda, are you with us to take us out?
I am. I'm still with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice. All right. Thanks, Mark and Rory. So we have a whole lineup of webinars that are currently posted through September. Check them out and register at devexpress.com/webinars. Coming up next week, of course, your CodeRush feature workshop next Wednesday. It is at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next Wednesday. And also Wednesday, July 20th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Visual Studio 2010 Scrum 1.0. The Visual Studio 2010 Scrum 1.0 is a new team foundation server process template that enacts Scrum. Scrum is an iterative, incremental framework for project management and agile software development. And in this webinar, we'll put the new process template to work, using it to manage a software product's development, including release and sprint planning, as well as managing a sprint. All right, so again, if you missed anything from this webinar or you want to review any previous webinars, please visit us on the DevExpress channel at tv.devexpress.com. Again, thanks to Mark and Rory. Thank you all for joining us, and thanks for choosing DevExpress.